Hey, what's up, Xbox Nation? This is Nor, and today we're going to talk about what's happening on May 24th with The Division. Ubisoft is dropping another update, the 1.2 update. We all remember 1.1 and the many problems it brought, but Ubisoft said, hey, here's 1.2. We're going to try to fix things as well as we're going to add some things to make the game more enjoyable. So what do you mean? What are they going to add to make this more enjoyable? What I'm going to focus on is the improved loot drops. That's right, the improved loot drops. Now, what does that mean? Why was it a problem? Well, a lot of gamers were complaining. They was like, hey, there's only really two weapons that you want to use, the SMG and the assault rifle. And those are only two weapons that people were using. Wasn't using the handgun, wasn't using the shotgun. Why? Because they weren't as powerful. So they said, what can we do? Should we nerf things and bring the weapons down? They said, no, we're going to try something different. We believe the weapons are at the right level, and we believe that the gamers who have the time and the energy and the money to roll and roll better weapons, they're getting better weapons, and the other guys who don't have that time don't have better weapons. What can we do to solve this problem? Basically, they came up with the idea and said, hey, what if we just drop better loot? What if we drop better loot, better guns, high-end guns that have better talents? Then everybody will have around the same amount of weapons. People won't be focused on rolling weapons with blueprints because they'll have that weapon. They'll go out and use it, and everybody will use it, and so you don't have that huge disparity with the weapons, because everybody has that weapon with great talents. Okay, so that's what they're trying to do. Hey, I hope it works. Okay, because I believe that is the solution. I don't think they have to nerf any more weapons or take away from any gear sets or anything like that. Just give people better weapons. And like I said, we're going to see how that works out. Another thing they're trying to do to bring new life in the game to the game with this 1.2 update is they're going to try to bring new life into the open world. And that's what I'm excited about too, because once you reach level 30, there was no reason to play the story again. But we're going to get back to that. Another thing that Ubisoft is doing, with the loot systems and stuff like that, is giving you levels in the dark zone. So in the dark zone, you might have 161 to 200. That's going to be a bracket that you're in, and you're going to be able to get stuff within that bracket of players that you're with when you enter different zones in the dark zone. They're also going to have a dark zone 200 plus. So for all you people who are 200 plus, you're going to be able to get with 200 plus people. Hey, it's going to be harder. You're going to face tougher NPCs, that's go up to level from 32 to 34 between that level, but you're going to get some great gear drop. Okay, there's also going to be supply drops for DZ level 161 to 200 and supply drops for DZ 200 plus players. So that's really, I believe, going to bring new life into the game. It's going to really balance out the weapons and everything. And so what I'm going to try to do now is just go a little more into detail about what's happening, with the rundown with the loot changes. So let's start with the open world. Okay, a thing's going to come up on the screen there, and you're going to be able to read that, So just follow me, or, I might be behind a little bit. But the first thing we're going to talk about is the open world. And basically, with the open world, it's going to have high value targets daily, high value targets weekly, and high risk targets weekly. So basically, if in the open world, you're going to start getting weapons at 182, and you have a chance to get gear sets at 214 and 240. It all depends on what risk level you take. So if you're just doing the high value target daily, you might get a 214 or a 119 gear set. But if you're doing the hardest one, the high risk target weekly, you can get 204 weapons as well as 214 gear, and you might have a chance of getting 240 gear. Okay, so now let's talk about the daily missions. Everybody remember that you got the hard mode and you got the challenging mode. You're either going to get with the boss drops as well as with the mission rewards. They're not going to change that much. If you do hard, you're only going to get 163 high-end weapons. But if you do challenging modes, the boss drop and the reward can lead you, 182 high-end weapon. Can lead you two of those, and or you can get one high-end weapon or a 240 gear set or 191. So that's really great too. Now another thing that's happening in this update is the incursion. Now the incursion, everybody know, is that you're going to have the hard mode, whatever the boss drops, and then you got the hard mode, whatever the weekly reward is. And then same with the challenging mode. You're going to have what the boss drops, and then you have a challenging mode, the weekly reward. Okay? So basically, the hard mode, you can get the highest weapon set. Now, 204. You can even get 240 gear set in the hard mode. So that's what makes the hard mode excellent, because usually you would have to play the challenging mode to even think about getting a 240 gear set, or a 204 high-end weapon. Well, they're changing all that. Okay, so that's also what I'm excited about. So now we're going to go to the Dark Zone. Like I said, they're going to have a Dark Zone level for 161 to 200, and they have a Dark Zone level for 200 plus. Now the 161 to 200 level, they're only going to have to deal with NPCs between the level of 30 and 32. And like I said, it's going to go up higher the DZ you're in. So 1 and 2 you might face 30, DZ 3 and 4 you're going to face 31, and 5 and 6 you're going to face 32. Okay, now for the Dark Zone 200 people, like myself, I'm excited because it's going to be 32 when you enter DZ1. You're not going to have to face 32 in DZ6. It's going to be like that in DZ1 and 2. And you can get good drops. You can get 182 and 204 high-end weapons or 214, 240 gear sets at level 32 in DZ1 and 2. And the higher you go up, the harder it gets. So basically, when you're 200 plus, you're going to be between the NPC level 32 to 34. So 34 when you get in 5 and 6. And there you can get drops of 204 high-end weapon or a 240 gear set. I can't wait. They're also doing the same thing to supply drops. They're going to have a supply drop in the Dark Zone for 161 200 people. And they're also going to have supply drop for DZ 200 plus people, again, like myself. And it's just better drops. For supply drops for the 161, you're going to start out to get 163, 182. In DZ1 and 2. And as you go up, you're going to get better, a little bit better, and a little bit better. But nothing is going to go past the 214 gear set or the 182 and the 204 high-end items. But if you're in the 200 plus, yes, the NPCs are going to be harder. But in DC 5 and 6, you're going to be able to get 204 high-end gear as well as 240 gear set. I hope you liked what I told you today. I hope you really go out and get this game because, like I said, I believe it's the best game so far of the year. Hats off to Ubisoft. And again, if you like this, subscribe and tell me what you think. This is Nor, and I'm out. Peace.